Last time on Uncivil Law. Can anyone who's been here longer tell me what the suit's over? It's over fruit videos and parts are the missed in the case, and I don't know, man. I don't know what it's over. What does it matter? Immediately after the school board meeting, Director Lyons held a closed-door meeting with the actors other than student Eck, Hartline, and Frizzy. The three student protagonists eventually snuck in a back door to the rehearsal. Following rehearsal, student Eck and Frizzy asked Director Lyons if she would speak with them privately. Director Lyons agreed, but requested the presence of two other adults, Abedel Harstein, a fifth-grade teacher in the school district, and the assistant director of the musical, and Marina Jones, the school board secretary. The conversation between student Eck and Director Lyons occurred in a school hallway in view of student Eck's parents, student Hartline, student Frizzy, and other students leaving the rehearsal. A surveillance camera in the school hallway recorded the exchange between Director Lyons and student Eck. The school district contends the students submitted an alternate version of the student video. I just want to comment in the middle of this thing. I just want to comment that this story is now going to be the legend of this high school for quite some time. This story is going to be the talk of the town. If they haven't already come back from break, which they probably haven't, but when they come back and they get to discuss the district court decision in their semester of high school, this is going to make high school in the rest of this school year very interesting, I would imagine. This is great. The parties dispute the tone and language of the conversation between Director Lyons and student Eck. The school district contends student Eck's language used in his conversation with Director Lyons was received and understood by the adults in attendance as aggressive, and his language to Ms. Harstein aggressive and insubordinate. At one point in the conversation, Ms. Harstein shared her personal experience auditioning for, but not getting, the lead part in her high school play, and her recollection with the disappointment and her friend who won the leading role. So the teachers are now reliving drama from their high school. This is just epic. The parties dispute student Eck's response to Ms. Harstein. Ms. Harstein's version is that student Eck responded he just couldn't believe that she wasn't upset and wanted to be confronted about not getting the leading part she auditioned for. Student Eck contends he responded that it wasn't easy for me to reconnect with JM. He was disappointed that they expected tension with JM to go away faster than it did. He had a hard time believing Ms. Harstein's feelings because they were so different, and I said that politely, and the conversation was so emotional, he was tired because it was a late night with the school board meeting, but he was ready to move on. According to Ms. Harstein, Director Lyons then asked student Eck if he was accusing Ms. Harstein of lying, to which she responded he still did not believe Ms. Harstein, making her feel like she was calling her a liar about a situation he knows nothing about that happened 10 years ago. The school district contends student Eck's behavior so upset Ms. Harstein she became inconsolable, and later that same evening told Superintendent Shank she felt threatened and disrespected by student Eck and would not be tolerated any longer. Ms. Jones also wrote a memo to Superintendent Shank relating the events of student Eck's conversation with Director Lyons and Ms. Harstein, calling student Eck angry with a lack of empathy, as well as head shaking and clenching of fists whenever something said he did not agree with, and concluding her daily interactions with students, I've not seen this level of angry and lack of awareness of other people's feelings. Student Eck disputes the school district's version of the hallway conversation. He contends the surveillance video does not show aggressive behavior. He did not become angry or act disrespectful, and instead spoke politely. He denies ever seeing Ms. Harstein cry during the conversation, and gave her no reason to cry. And when the conversation ended, Director Lyons, Ms. Harstein, and Ms. Jones walked past student Eck and his parents, never saying anything to the parents about objectionable behavior. After the conversation, Ms. Jones immediately reported to Superintendent Shank, still in school principals, for the school board meeting. Ms. Harstein believes after the conversation, wherein the superintendent talks about an investigation and discipline. And now, a song break. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. Think about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly away. I believe I can soar. I see me running through that open door. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly. At 11:30 p.m. on the same March 20th evening, Superintendent Shank emailed all the school board members. Now the superintendent and the entire school board is in on the fruit video. Just great. I went to the auditorium tonight after the meeting to speak with the directors, only to walk into the aftermath of a negative situation whereby student Eck was speaking to the cast, thanking them for supporting him and helping him get things changed. He then verbally accosted the assistant director, Miss Harstein, accused her of lying and not speaking up, and then closed with, "This is not over, and I'll be getting more people to come forward." The teacher was visibly upset, crying, and felt threatened. The teacher used the words, "verbally attacked." I am obtaining the statements from the teacher and witnessed by Marina Jones and the teacher. I'm going to issue discipline regarding tonight's situation, and depending on what the rest of the investigation reveals tomorrow, student Eck may have just finished his last rehearsal tonight. Students are angry with him for his actions when he returned to the auditorium after he left the school board meeting. According to students Eck's own words, this is not over, but I will end his role in it. We will run the process in the morning. Thank you for your support and understanding in a very difficult situation. The superintendent of schools has now gotten directly involved in the high school drama pettiness. This is beyond anything I could have ever hoped for. Superintendent Shank emailed Principal Becker the next morning regarding student Eck. This will be a 3 out, and he will be out of the show based on his behavior last night at the board meeting. Superintendent Shank did not mention the public comments. Superintendent Shank has the authority to suspend students. Wherein the superintendent and the principal suspend student Eck. Superintendent Shank and Principal Becker then the next day with student Eck and his mother mid-morning on March 21st, 2019, issuing him a 3-day suspension from school and removing him from the cast of the musical and as drama club president. The school district contends it suspended student Eck for his aggressive, threatening, and disrespectful behavior towards Miss Harstein. Student Eck denies he acted in this way towards Miss Harstein. There's a particular dispute over whether student Eck lunged at Miss Harstein. Student Eck contends Superintendent Shank accused him of lunging at Director Lyons and Miss Harstein, while Superintendent Shank denies ever said anything about lunging. Student Eck argues the surveillance video shows he did not act aggressively. The school district contends it suspended student Eck for insolence, regardless of whether he manifested his conduct physically or verbally. Wherein the superintendent and Principal Beck suspend student Hartline. After student Eck's suspension on the morning of March 21st, Superintendent Shank called a meeting of the musical cast and Principal Becker. Student Hartline learned of her boyfriend, student Eck's suspension. Superintendent Shank told the assembly cast there should be no further disruptions or negative statements about Director Lyons or the program, and the cast should be positive. Superintendent Shank told the cast, in substance, if anyone wants to quit, you can quit. The door is right there. But if you leave, you're not allowed to come back. Student Hartline understood Superintendent Shank intended this comment to be directed at her and reacted to it by standing up, packing her book bag, announcing, "Fine, I quit," throwing her script in the trash, and leaving the auditorium. Superintendent Shank directed Principal Becker to suspend Student Hartline from school for a day and a half. Principal Becker met with student Hartline, told her to go home for the rest of the day and to stay home the next day, but not to tell her the time off from school counted as a suspension. Student Hartline's mother called the school to speak with Principal Becker and Superintendent Shank about the suspension, but they refused to meet with her. Wherein the director of the play disciplined student Ferezzi. Act 5. On March 24th, 2019, 4 days after the school board meeting, Superintendent Shank, Principal Becker, and Director Lyons exchanged emails regarding student Ferezzi. Director Lyons emailed Superintendent Shank and Principal Becker. I think Ms. Harstein and Principal Becker would agree that based on some of the behavior we saw from Vinnie Ferezzi, we may have a mole in our midst. The superintendent and principal and the drama director are now speculating about students acting as moles. Great. It was apparent that at one point he was trying to eavesdrop on the conversation. The kids are also being very cautious. I'll continue to keep a close eye on this behavior. Superintendent Shank responded, if his, student Ferezzi's, behavior becomes problematic, Let Principal Becker know, and we will address it. I do understand from a source, he says, that wishes to remain anonymous. We are now on full-board anonymous sources in a high school drama, meta-drama. This is great. I do understand from a source that wishes to remain anonymous that he, Student Frezzi, is reporting directly to 2 board members. Vinny has been known to eavesdrop on these conversations with me, my office, Katie, and other teachers. Director Lyons responded, "Thanks for the intel," to which Superintendent Shank responded, "Have a backup plan for Vinny's part. If it's anything like the rest of this year, he will continue to push the line as far as he can." Director Lyons responded, "I do. Would prefer that we make changes this week instead of the week to show when he decides to act up." And Superintendent Shank responded, "I will try to develop an understudy for him so when he pulls out the week of the show, we're ready." Oh man. That same day, March 24th, 2019, Superintendent Shank emailed the school board members advising, "Musical rehearsals went much better this weekend. Only 2 students have removed themselves from the show. One I removed because of his behavior and his girlfriend, then quit. The 3rd student, who is and has been problematic, Vinny F., is acting out and beginning to undermine other cast members, eavesdrop on the conversations, and not follow directions. If he continues, I will address it. The other students are beginning to complain about his negativity and immaturity." Yes, I'm sure the students were the ones with negativity and immaturity. That's definitely the impression I'm getting, yeah. The Drama Club held its last performance of the musical on April 13th, 2019. The cast and crew then party at the auditorium after the show. Director Lyons gave nice comments about everyone, but when addressing Student Frenzy, he said, "I'll never forgive you for what you said, but this may be a life lessons for you." He's calling out the student at the cast celebration party. That's just great. The school district contends between shows on April 13th, 2019. Student Frenzy told the cast there was a big lawsuit coming and the woman was going down, referring to Director Lyons. Student Frenzy denies any documents show he used an offensive word or referenced Director Lyons. On April 14th, 2019, the cast and crew planned to return to school for a set strike to take down the set and props. Director Lyons texted Superintendent Shanks and Principal Becker on the morning of April 14th. "Hi, Tracy and Chris. The shows went great this weekend. It was, however, clouded last night by Vinny talking to the kids about how there's going to be a big lawsuit, and he's been taking notes the whole time, and someone is going down. He told them he's planning on coming late and leaving early today for the set strike. The kids were very upset. I told them they need to see their counselor, Mr. Becker or Dr. Shank, on Monday. If Vinny shows up, I will ask Mr. Conrad, he's a retired state trooper, to be on alert, as I will ask Vinny to leave. I will not have him here to continue to hurt the cast if he shows." Superintendent Shank responded, "If he shows, just send him home." And Principal Becker responded, "I agree. No need for it. And once again, wonderful job. I heard yesterday was awesome." 13 minutes after receiving Director Lyons' text message, Superintendent Shank emailed the school board members reporting, "Just an FYI, the musical went very well. All 3 shows were outstanding. Then last night, Vinny F. was very negative with the cast and crew, stating he took notes on everything. Someone's going down, and there's going to be a big lawsuit. Students and parents were very upset. Set strike is today, so I've instructed Director Lyons, if Vinny shows up, just send him home." At this moment in time, I'd like to say, God bless email and the fact it keeps a written record for us all, so we can really just enjoy the drama by looking at the written record. This is super great. I love this school. I love these people. I love all these people. This is the greatest high school drama I've ever heard. If this is a meta play, I want to say it's the best meta play ever. This is great. Next time on Uncivil Law. I'm just telling you right now, I'm going to have to get the decision. I want every piece of this case for the rest of time. This is the best law story we've ever seen. Thank you for joining me as we both read this case together and now better understand the law. If you're enjoying this legal education content, please subscribe to this channel. It really helps us grow. And check out one of our other videos, including the one that's currently being displayed on the thumbnail on screen. Thank you so much for your continued support. And until later, my friends, cheers and goodbye.